Hello and welcome back to Genre. I'm your host, Elise.
I'm Katy.
And Brianna's on vacation this week, but we're joined by a very special guest, my friend Stephanie. She is not only a lifelong reader, but also a published author. Yay. So I'm going to throw it to her so she can introduce herself.
Yay. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am a lifelong reader. I generally read contemporary romance, sometimes a heavier romance like Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I'll stray into historical fiction, a few memoirs if they're really good. But really, I just like to read as an escape. My book that came out last year, Evitchka, A True Story of Survival, Hope, and Love, is completely different than anything that I would read. I actually like to write these powerful nonfiction stories, but reading for me is really an escape. So totally different, but both worth the read.
Yes.
Yeah. And your background's in journalism, so that was like the basis of your Evitchka story. Like you were doing really in-depth interviews and speaking to people.
Oh, yeah. It's the story of a young girl who was one of 200 Jewish children to survive the Holocaust in Humana, Czechoslovakia. And I did a lot of interviews, and it's really about the ripple effect that her survival had on the world and all of the good that she did from there.
Yep.
Very cool.
Well, thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
I know. And also, really last minute, you went and read our book for this week, so we appreciate it. Our book for this week is The Compound by Aisling Rawle. And here's the quick summary from the back. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Winner takes all. Lily, a bored, beautiful 20-something, wakes up on a remote desert compound along 19 other contestants on a popular reality show. To win, she must outlast her housemates while competing in challenges for luxury rewards such as champagne and lipstick and communal necessities to outfit their new home, like food, appliances, and a front door. The cameras are catching all her angles, good and bad, but Lily has no desire to leave. Why would she, when the world outside is falling apart? As the competition intensifies, intimacy between the players deepens and becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish between desire and desperation. When the producers raise the stake, forcing contestants into upsetting and even dangerous situations, the line between playing the game and surviving begins to blur. If Lily makes it to the end, she'll receive prizes beyond her wildest dreams. But what will she have to do to win? Addictive and prescient, The Compound is an explosive debut from a major new voice in fiction and will linger in your mind long after the game ends. We'll get into it in a bit, but first we have some things to say. I'm going to start off this week. Because I have a very important, very powerful movie that I need to tell all of you about. And it's called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my God.
And it's unbelievable. First of all, anybody who likes romantasy, it's the story. It's a powerful trio of women assassins, okay? They have a calling that's passed down from generation to generation that they have to protect the world from the demons. And the only way that you can protect the world from the demons is by singing pop songs. And so throughout the world, there's been this powerful three-piece pop girl bands. And by their songs, bringing people together, they create a net around the world that keeps the demons out.
Well, my kids are watching this, so thanks for filling me in. I had no idea what it was about.
So it's unbelievable. Obviously, the main character falls in love with a morally gray man who is, of course, one of the demons, because to fight the K-pop Demon Hunters, who, again, is a absolutely fantastic three-piece girl K-pop band, they create a boy K-pop band. And the demons come up to try and fight them that way, to steal the fans and to steal the love. The songs from the soundtrack is absolutely outstanding. The voices on these actors, unbelievable. The message, powerful. I played a clip for Katy, and Katy's like, actually, this is pretty good.
The songs are definitely very catchy.
Yeah.
So
it's great. Everybody should watch it, particularly if you're into, any sort of like romantasy genre. That's what it is. It is a cartoon, in case maybe you were confused by the name K-pop Demon Hunters.
That's great. That really segues into my recommendation that I was going to give, is something that me and Elise actually just finished watching, which is Ballard on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And it's a spin-off of the Bosch world. So if you don't know, Harry Bosch is a homicide detective in LA, and that series just follows him and all his trials and tribulations. But Ballard, who is played by Maggie Q,
Our queen.
Maggie Q is not enough.
No.
I would watch her do absolutely anything.
No, yeah.
She's incredible. She's amazing in this. It's the same type of like gritty, cop story that Bosch is. Obviously, these are books written by Michael Connelly, and it follows Renee Ballard in sort of all of these different cases that she's taking on. She's kind of like an outcast in the police. And so that's very interesting and how that plays out.
They sent her to cold cases.
Yeah.
And of course she says, nothing cold about these cases.
Nothing cold if Maggie Q's on board.
Maggie Q's going to find a serial killer. You bet. Okay? You bet you find a serial killer in those cold cases. It's unbelievable. I would also just watch Maggie Q like read a phone book though.
Yeah.
But it's not like I've tried to watch Bosch. Katie's tried to give me Bosch. Not quite my genre. You know what I mean? But Maggie Q is unbelievable.
But if anyone likes Bosch, there is Harry Bosch does make a couple appearances.
Every
so
time he makes an appearance, Katie gasps like this.
yeah,
Like
it's
really.
Bosch. It's my favorite. I love him. All right. Yeah, Stephanie, what do you got?
I mean, I really just have to say thank you to Coldplay and the Coldplay couple for bringing us all together in a time that we didn't even know we needed it.
Yeah.
But it has just given such comic relief for the whole last week. In fact, I already know what I'm going to be for Halloween. Clearly, the Coldplay couple.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
there's
God.
costumes out.
Yeah.
There's the whole thing. I mean, it just like, it's just pure comedy.
Oh, my God.
I've been enjoying every moment of it,
Yeah.
and I just can't get enough.
It's excellent to have somebody like Chris Martin literally expose your scandal for the world to see. It was perfection.
It really
It
was.
was. It really was.
Oh.
And it's well, of course it was of their own making, period.
I know.
You're cheating. But it's not like I'm like the 1 million zillionth person to say this, but if you just didn't basically just throw yourself off the balcony to get away from the camera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one, maybe someone in the audience would have. No one's watching Jumbotron footage for fun.
No.
You know? Like, no one
That was
just.
the first reaction for sure.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Just stand
don't-
there and smile.
Yeah, just like be like, oh no. And I really am desperate to know who that woman standing in front of them
Oh, I
laughing is. I don't think she's been identified.
No. So they said that she wasn't with them.
Okay.
So like
Oh,
she was just a random woman that was like, what, like what's going on? But yeah, not only was it catching a cheating couple, but the fact that they worked at the same company.
The HR CEO thing was
Icing on the cake.
So good. So good.
Perfection.
I know.
Thank you so much.
And I never thought I was going to really thank Coldplay for much, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not even a Coldplay fan.
No.
But for this, I say thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right, let's jump into the book. So first, let's talk about the genre. It was dystopian. I mean, it was a drama. It was dystopian, but I think we can talk more about
Yeah.
how dystopian it actually was.
Was it dystopian?
I know.
I don't know that it really was.
I know.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Because like the sort of tagline for this book, how it was like marketing itself was like Love Island meets Lord of the Flies,
Yeah.
which sure,
Yeah.
but I think it was a little bit less Lord of the Flies that I think I thought it was going to be, like sort of going into it just by like knowing that tagline and like reading the back of the book.
And to be dystopian, you really need to build a world.
Yeah.
And here,
Yeah.
like, there really wasn't that. It was obviously set in the future
Yeah.
where things were different, but we don't really know how they were different.
Yeah, and I don't also know like how much in the future. Like I have like a lot of things that I'm just like
Yeah.
it could have been 6 months in the future. The only real thing when they were talking about what was going on around them was a touch of environmental collapse, the bushfires and stuff that were
Yeah.
going on around everybody, but like
Yeah.
nothing too significant. And the fact that there were wars. They kept mentioning the wars. Like she
Yeah.
wondered, like Lily was wondering how many of the boys fought in the wars.
Yeah.
Like her dad was in the war and she hadn't like spoken to him in a while.
It was so very unclear. Were the wars overseas? Was
Yeah.
it a civil war? It was all very unclear.
Yeah. I think if you're looking to read this book thinking that it's heavily a dystopian novel, I would not say that. Like, I actually wish there was more dystopian talk in this, but you're right. All of the products and things like that were varied today. So it's not like,
Yeah.
technology was a lot different or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I would not actually not say this is a dystopian. It's just sort of mentioned
Yeah.
that stuff is happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, it's a societal critique, obviously. I mean, like, it's a drama. I would say mid-market literature more than anything else. I think it's not a beach read. Which you could also, like, if you were looking at the
No.
cover with just them, like, sitting by the pool, heavier than a beach read.
Yeah. Well, it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not really romance at all
No.
either.
No.
Nope. This is also this woman's debut novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for a debut novel, I think it was really good. I mean, I was in it, but I think I was waiting for a reveal.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And the reveal is, surprise, people suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
people suck. Even like to the very last page when she was like walking out of the compound, Lily was walking out of the compound. I'm like, we're going to see
Something. Yeah.
And it wasn't. Yeah, I would agree. All right. Want to go with one line plot?
Ooh, yes.
Katie, you start.
Okay, I actually have two, but I think I'm just going to go with one. Okay. Deserted, desperate, and dehydrated. where
I love the alliteration.
where reality TV collides with survival of the sneakiest.
Ooh,
I like
that was
that.
nice, Katie.
Nice.
All right, Steph, you go.
All right. Let's see here. I went a little more all in, but I would say materialistic glamazon is bored with her life for reasons truly unknown and subjects herself to a cruel reality TV show in the hopes of a future filled with more stuff that she will ultimately decide she doesn't want.
Yeah, yes, that's
Perfect.
that's actually perfect. That's it.
That is perfect.
That's the entire thing. All right, mine. I also had a few. I think I'm going to go with what happens when capitalism, Stockholm syndrome, and Schadenfreude all come together to torture 10 hot people who think they're playing a game in paradise.
Yeah. Oh.
It was the Stockholm syndrome that really got me at the end of it. Actually, let me stop here because while we read the back of the book, maybe just for everybody, let's just a quick actual plot. It's 10 people show up
No,
at this.
it's more than that.
20 people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Well,
10
actually,
boys, 10
only
girls.
19.
Oh, 19,
Yeah.
because one didn't make it.
Yeah.
And the girls are at the compound. They're literally drugged and wake up in a house. One by one, they have to try and find them. It seems like they were just scattered around the house.
Like
Yeah.
tossed.
Like tossed. Like two, like Lily and one of the other
Jacinda.
Jacinda were like in the bedroom at least. But like
Yeah.
other people were like
Getting sunburnt outside.
like on a lounger.
Yeah.
It's this desert compound which like seems like gorgeous and sprawling, but is also in disrepair. And they wake up and basically these 10 women have to find each other and then start cleaning the house. And like the house is like absolutely disgusting. It's falling apart. There's no doors. Not the front door, there's no doors. There's no doors to the bathroom. Like they barely have anything, just what was left by the previous people who lived there. So there's like random clothing that they go through and like pick something so they look nice when the boys come. And they have to wait for the boys to show up because they have to walk through the desert. They're drugged and dropped somewhere in the desert and they have to make their way to the compound. So when they get here, there's only 9 boys because one of them basically, I think, like loses his mind and it's just like, get me out of here.
He just gets lost.
Yeah,
I
he gets
thought
lost
you were
in
going to find that someone did something super nefarious in the desert and they were like, nah, this dude he got lost.
I mean, couldn't he have showed up at some point?
I know.
Who's to say?
I know. I was bummed about that.
And then to stay, and this is sort of like the Love Island part of it, and I wish I was a Love Island person, but I'm not.
I don't actually wish I am not a Love Island person and I'm glad that I
I guess I am like, I'm not like, it doesn't hurt my heart that I'm not a Love Island person, but I think if I had, I think there would be a little bit more, like I'd have a little bit more to say about this, but you have to wake up in this like Love Island-esque dating game that they're in. You have to wake up each morning with a member of the opposite sex in your bed.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you're kicked out. So right away, the girls were at a disadvantage because there was only 10 girls and 9 boys. So one of the girls were going to go home. So they immediately had to start, playing the game. And the other part of this game, besides just sort of coupling up, is that you get tasks on the big screen, which are communal tasks that everybody have to do. And then you get things for the house. Yeah. So food, hot tubs, a door.
I would just like to point out that the tasks that you have to do, you're literally doing these tasks for the bare minimum for food and for water. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're doing this to get a hot tub. I mean, yes, I think eventually it comes to that, or like a super cool TV. You're literally doing it for chairs, for bottles of water.
Yeah.
There's also like a very bizarre rule for this reality TV show that I think actually took away from learning about the characters because they're not allowed to talk about anything personal to each other for the whole time until they get down to the final 5. And so we don't really learn much about any of them either because they're all just like, how's the weather? It's really hot today. Yeah. Oh, look, a fox. Like there's no like actual conversation. And so it takes away from us getting to know anybody's backstory, really.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because that's what I was waiting for. Like I kind of assumed that we were going to get to the final 5 quicker than we did, just so that we'd learn something about these people. And honestly, we really don't end up learning much of anything.
We learn the most about Tom. And that's why I think it can't really be too dystopian. It's not too far in the future because Tom is the poster boy of like the male loneliness epidemic that we are just like constantly talking about nowadays. He's just a incel, and everything is everybody else's fault. He can't keep a job. He can't keep friends. He can't keep a girlfriend. And it's never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And he will he will kill you. And he will resort to violence and
he was creepy.
not follow the rules.
Yeah.
And like he'll stay in his little gray room where all of his toys are and thinks that he's just better than everybody else because, you know, he has better taste in music or, you know, like he thinks he's smarter, but like nothing to back it up.
Yeah. You know what I thought this was giving? I have a couple things, right? Like obviously the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like truly this was a televised show of people fighting for their lives, essentially. But also the Dollhouse.
Yes.
So this was a TV show on the WB. Long story, but essentially these are very beautiful men and women who are like programmed. They're like not even real. They don't have any feelings. They don't have any background. They're basically just computers. But it was reminding me of like when you said that, Stephanie, that you're getting no information or background about them. That's pretty much Dollhouse because they're like computers and they don't remember a past. They don't remember anything. So all they're talking about is like, wow, what a beautiful day it is.
Yeah.
Or I'm going in the pool. Like, and that's truly all these people talked about. There was nothing there. But then also this was like a Black Mirror episode.
Yes. It's the alienation technique, like in writing. So you just take something that we know so much about, like the reality, like dating show, and you just take it a step.
Yeah.
You just take it a step and all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. We're awful people as a society. Like this is what we're watching. Again, we didn't watch Love Island, but Love Island was on every single night. You were watching these people who are also in a weird social experiment. They're also isolated in this house, just talking to each other and producers every once in a while. And half of them, like 2 of them got kicked off for like bad social media stuff. And so their lives are ruined because the producers didn't catch it ahead of time. They've been canceled.
Yeah.
And even if they sort of won, like, did you win? I don't know. You were just on TV every single night for 6 weeks or something. So many people watched. It's gross. It's gross.
It's gross.
I mean, I actually did not watch Love Island. I watched a ton of reality TV. Didn't watch that one because it's just too many nights a week. Watched Big Brother. But in a weird way, this book actually reminded me of a book I read earlier this year called The Island by Tracy Garvis Graves. Because in that book, they're just 2 people. The plot starts right away. They're just on this island. And for like 75% of the book, it's just the 2 of them right in the action on the island. There's no other world. There's no backstory. But then where it's different is that the last part of that book, they go back to real life. You see how it impacts them. And I know I'm skipping to the end here, but like you never get that out of this.
I know.
Like there's just no, okay, this all happened. How does it impact them? Are their lives better? Are they worse?
Yeah.
You just have no idea.
I know. I totally agree.
Yeah. The one thing that it was giving me, and this is very, very specific, very niche. Katy, you might remember this just because of all the Doctor Who I've made you watch in our lives. There's an episode. It's the very first season of like the new Doctor Who, so it's the 9th Doctor. It just opens up where the Doctor and his 2 companions are just in reality shows. So it's Doctor Who's a British show. So they're in Big Brother. The Weakest Link. Remember the show, The Weakest Link?
You are the weakest link.
Yeah. And like an extreme makeover show. Honestly, the British did reality TV first, like this type of competition shows. And this is, again, it's Doctor Who, so it was like in the future. They turn out to be like in a weird planet. And all of these shows are the most extreme version of what these shows were. So if you get kicked out off of Big Brother, you're vaporized.
You're dead.
Like the extreme makeover show is like, they're like, oh, you look great. Now let's cut off your head and give you a new one. Like it's like that sort of extreme. And at the Weakest Link, if you get the question wrong, you know, you're dropped down into like a
pit of alligators.
Or something. I'm forgetting what it was, but you're dropped down into a pit of something that also eats you. And so everybody, like all of like the Doctor and the 2 companions start being like, oh my God, how silly. I wonder even how we even got there. Like, oh, whatever, I can win Big Brother. Like she's laughing, it's Rose who's on the Weakest Link, like laughing at everything. And then she realizes, and everybody's looking at her like, what's wrong with you? You can't just get questions wrong like that.
Yeah.
And then she sees what happens when somebody dies. She goes, oh no. And that's what this felt like it was. It was just like the most extreme version. Honestly, as soon as she woke up and walked into the kitchen and it was just full of like pizza boxes and flies. I was like, this is so weird. And that's the only thing I could think of.
Wait, so did we like this book? Stephanie.
You know what? I didn't hate it because I liked it. Kept me reading. You know, I went all the way to the end and was like happy to be reading it. But then there was just no payoff for me. And I really do judge books pretty heavily on their endings. And this one just didn't have that for me. So, like, this was middle of the road for me, I'd say.
Yeah. What about you, Elise?
I'd say same thing. It was middle of the road. I don't think I would. I'm definitely not like, you have to read this. Like, it's definitely not like a top recommendation. I did like it. Yeah, it kept me reading. It was an interesting critique, but like not necessarily scathing enough. I thought it was interesting that if you were going to do this type of book in genre, if you will, your main character would have been like somebody trying to fight the man. Like they got on the show because they were trying to take it down or something like that. But it wasn't. Lily truly was just a vapid dum-dum who is just desperate to have things. And so she truly was just a materialistic, vapid dum-dum. And the fact that she wins, basically, it's her, it's a crazy guy who was actually there for the same reason she was.
Yeah.
And then Andrew, who ended up being the most Stockholm Syndrome of all of them, ended up being obsessed with the producers. In fact, only left when he realized the producers didn't love him. You know what I mean? The producers, like, weren't going to come for him. Like, they won't let you die, but they're not going to, like, you know, pat you on the head when you're feeling sad either. I thought it was interesting. I think it was a really interesting take on this type of book, but it wasn't exciting. There was, like you said, there was no payoff. Like, there's all of these people, and they all desperately want connection, but are incapable of doing it. Because either you're Lily, who's unwilling to like even stay with Sam, because she really does just want the things. You know what I mean? Like at least she's honest about that. She really does just want the things, right? And then Sam was one of the ones who realized that they were going through like, well, I've made a bit of a mistake. I gotta go.
Yeah. This was truly my nightmare. Like, I think the book. I think it was a well-written book. It was definitely an interesting concept, but I felt physically uncomfortable reading it the entire time. I was embarrassed for these people. Like, I didn't even feel bad for them. I'm like, you've put yourself in what I think is an absolutely awful situation. My nightmare is to be surrounded by girls in a mansion that you have to keep up. This place seemed absolutely disgusting. It seemed worse than a sorority or a frat house. This is truly my nightmare. That's my hell. If I were to go to hell, it would be this. Every single day I'm on a reality television show with no water.
Yeah. And you're totally right that Lily, you know, the main character, is really just not likable.
No.
And that really also takes away from enjoying the book.
And in this world, she's not likable, but no one really cares because she's hot.
Oh, right.
And they keep saying that.
Yeah.
They keep like, wow, you're absolutely useless, but gorgeous. We'll keep you around. And again, it's just that like one step. It's just like that one step that this book is doing that I think it's interesting at the very least. You know what I mean? Like it kept me reading. Like it is like it's a harsh critique without actually critiquing anything.
Do you know one of the scenes that like I think about, which how awful would this be, was when they had to put both boys and girls in a line based off of their hotness.
Oh, yeah.
How awful is that? And Lily's like, oh, well, I'm number 2. That's great.
And number 1 should be number 1, Candace.
Yeah.
Who, again, all the side characters were such side characters, I think, except for Tom. Tom was the only one that really stuck with me.
And I actually like some of the side characters way better than Lily.
Like, Jacinda was great.
Yeah, she was my favorite for sure.
I wanted to know more.
Yeah, she was barely there, though. Yeah.
But she actually, made a point that was really important, that she was the only black woman. There was one black man. So clearly even more underrepresented than reality TV is today in the future. And she said, because, we're the only 2 black people, we should be paired up. That's just how it's always going to go. They always want us to be paired up. And that's such an important critique. That's like actual, real important something to critique other than just materialism.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. But one of the things that I feel like we also didn't get into was Tom was truly an awful person.
Yeah.
He was abusive. The interruption by the producers seemed like way less than any reality TV show that I've ever heard of. I actually was surprised when at the end, Andrew, who I guess had like a fever, they came in to get him at night. And I was like, oh, but you didn't do anything. You didn't step in when he basically beat the shit out of Lily for breaking the record machine.
Violence is allowed in the final 5 because it's better TV.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then also, though, the producer stepped in to punish Tom because he told Lily something about how he got his personal task. Like he had to sleep with one of the girls so he could get the record player.
Yeah.
And that was against the rule until the final 5. You couldn't say what you had to do to get the luxury items that you could get. And everybody was really worried about what it was going to be. And they sort of forgot about it. And then they literally boiled him in the hot tub. They waited until he was alone in the hot tub and they boiled him.
Yeah.
And he had burns all over his body. They didn't come in to fix his burns.
No.
I mean, and then they set the compound on fire.
And then they set the compound on fire. And then they set the compound on fire. And that was the violence before it was allowed. That was when Tom slapped Lily.
Yep.
And then I want to call him Sean again. Why
Sam.
I don't know. And then Sam stepped in and then like punched Tom.
Yeah.
And then so now then everybody, the whole entire compound had to get in trouble. And so they set it on fire.
They did, but like any reality TV show today, if Tom had done that, he would have been gone.
Oh my gosh.
He was just allowed to stay.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like him. I mean, what kind of world, I guess, talking about like the dystopian world that we're in, like what kind of world where we're like, this is totally okay. Like this is actually fun TV for us to watch. Like, so it seems like some weird shit's going on the outside where that's okay and nobody really has a problem with it.
Yeah.
It seems like it is, but we don't really know. We never find out.
We'll never know.
Well, but one of the scenes that stick out for me is also near the very end. And I think it was either just her or Andrew at that point, or when her and Tom, Lily gave the story of like the 2 most successful people on the show. And it was like the 2 best friends that stayed until the end. And if there was ever a task that asked them to do something against each other, they just wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Until the very last task where it was like basically do this or leave. And they were like, yeah, we'll just leave. And everybody looked on these 2 girls who did have an actual connection.
Yeah.
Who did like fun things and were just like doing nothing but having fun the entire time.
Yeah.
And left when, they were gonna have to like turn against each other. And those 2 girls were apparently the most, successful members of this show, but like no one else can do it.
Yeah.
Like it's truly just everybody else turned against each other or left, right?
Yeah.
Or like, I can't do it anymore. If that was the most successful, like that seemed to be what everybody idolized about the show, but no one could do it. And this group had their moments where they sort of lived in, relative harmony. Like when they were split into their departments and they ignored a bunch of the banishment tasks and they were having a good time and things like that. But then eventually they really needed food. And so they had to like send somebody into the desert. That poor girl, they had to send to the desert.
But she lost her mind.
She did. She lost her actual mind.
Yeah.
Because she was being chased by snakes. Chased by snakes.
This is a nightmare.
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, no. Like, no. Could not be me. The fact that this wasn't like a Hunger Games where you are kind of forced to go into this environment and that these people literally raise their hand to sign up. I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you want to know. Like, what was happening in the world that made them want to do that? But we just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think all we know is that Lily worked at a department store at the makeup counter, which seems like a respectable job. And all she cared about was money and stuff.
And how she could never buy what she wanted to.
Yeah.
But then she told the story, poor Lily, she's such a dummy, where she almost got fired because because there was money missing from the till every night. The reconciliation of the cash register never added up when she closed. And they accused her of stealing and she was insulted. But then as they looked at the camera to figure out what it was, it just basically she couldn't add.
No.
Lily couldn't add. And they were just like, okay, we won't fire you. You dum-dum. You are really good at makeup, though. Keep going. Do the makeup. That's fine.
I mean, I actually can't even think of another book I've read where the protagonist was openly not smart in that way. Like usually, like they're enterprising, they're against the man, they're doing something. But I mean, she was openly just materialistic and not intelligent and just hot.
Yeah. I mean, she did end up tricking Tom at the end, but it wasn't in any sort of real smart way. It was honestly because she needed a lot of time to do the math and she needed him to go first. like she had a general idea of how long that they were there because she spoke to Becca, who was very smart, hide in that water in the hedge. And she kind of had an idea, but she needed him to say something. And like they had no pens or pencils or calculators or anything. So she was, to be fair, if anybody would need some time, but instead of just,
It was like Price is Right rules. Because you undercut them by $1 and you're good.
Yeah.
Like I wanted her kicking or basically winning against Tom. I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be like some crazy thing that she did, but it was just math. And I'm sort of like, how did you, small, tiny, hot girl, put enough furniture against
front of the
a door that then basically Tom couldn't get in?
Oh, but you know what she did do that was smart, though? Because Tom was so afraid of the wild dogs.
Oh, yeah.
He got attacked, like on the way to the compound. And so she snuck out with raw stakes and literally just cut the fence and put the stakes down. He was freaking out because he was being, basically stalked by coyotes, which, and then
the producers didn't step in.
No, didn't step in then.
Yep.
Didn't step in then.
Nope.
They can't die. They won't let you die, but they will let you
basically be maimed.
Yeah. I think you can be maimed. And which I get, that was smart, but like in a very basic sort of way. And you know what that math thing also reminded me of? Like a high stress situation where a sweet dummy is trying to do something they can't do. Feyre in A Court of Thorns and Roses, where she can't read and she has to do a riddle.
Yeah.
And I know Stephanie does not read Romantasy, but and this is a big one. And she's the main character in the first book is illiterate, but she's a badass though, Romantasy.
She's a badass.
And she has to do all of these sorts of tasks, and she's good at a lot of things, hunting, like just basically staying alive. Like the second to last task, she had to read. It was a riddle, and she had to read it, and she couldn't read it, and she managed just to guess it, basically, like based on some context clues she was getting. But it was sort of like that, like a high stakes situation where they're just like, I guess I'll just guess.
I mean, did anybody feel though that they kind of broke the rules in what happened with her and Tom at the end? Because the whole rule was that like you can't do a communal task unless everybody is there and participating.
Yeah.
And Andrew was right. He was off being like cared for by the producer, so he wasn't there. And all of a sudden there was a communal task where somebody was going to be banished and he wasn't there. And I felt like that was like a departure from the rules of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That honestly, I was losing the plot at that point. And Andrew was gone. I'm like, why did he get sick? Like, what? Like, is he really that sick? And then he left, and then he came back literally insane.
Yeah. Again, that was like, it was the most Stockholm syndrome I've ever I ever saw. Like he was like, we have to do it. We have to build a monument for our legacy so the producers could know. And it was just a mountain of trash.
I would love to see like a picture of the monument that he built. Like I would absolutely love some sort of drawing of that.
You're right. It was so off the rails.
Yeah, it was. and Lily just kept doing all of her personal tasks to get luxury items, but sometimes she didn't like them, so she just threw them on the monument.
I couldn't.
Oh, you know what else I just thought was very funny? And even at the very end, once Lily won, and so she could stay at the compound for as long as she wanted and just basically ask for anything that she wanted.
Yeah.
But she still had to remember that she has to thank the sponsors.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. You would get your luxury item and it was like a watch or something, and you had to look into the camera and smile and, be like, thanks, Rolex, for my new watch. It goes with everything. And if you didn't, the producers yelled at you.
I know.
Like you got in trouble. And another thing I did sort of like, again, like that one step over, is that we know that these hot dummies go on reality shows because they want to be influencers. They want to come out and get brand deals and stuff like that. It's the best marketing task that they can do. But on here, it was just overt. Like she's like, if you're good enough and you thank them enough, you'll get a deal with them when you go out and you'll never have to work again. So it was just, clearly that was what you were doing. It was like to be on the show for the right reason was sort of Lily. Like everybody else who thought they were going to be on the show because they were going to find a boyfriend or that they were going to, I don't know, just get some cool clothes. I don't really know, but the only person who was there for the right reason was Lily, and the right reason was dumb. Was
diamond earrings and some lipstick.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing that I think I don't get or I don't understand about reality television. Because when I ask people about Love Island that watch it, I'm like, are people really going there to find love? Like, is that what they're doing? And apparently that is what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, are any of these people even still together? Like, are we getting Love Island marriages out of this? And apparently there are couples that have stayed together.
Yeah, there are some.
But then I feel like there's a bunch of people that you just know now as like influencers, just like personalities. But that wasn't what this was really at all. I felt like whatever was going on the outside, this was an escape. And so you wanted to do this show to escape just the day-to-day of whatever was happening in the real world.
Well, Lily said once in one of her only like introspective prescient moments was like, I guess we were all here because we're miserable people. Like that was like near the end, she's like, I guess we're all miserable and that's why we came. And all of them, like, they went through like their jobs and stuff like that, and they all just had normal jobs. The one who had the most interesting job was Jacinta, who was like finishing up her like engineering degree or something like that.
Well, Sam was an architect.
Yeah, that's right. Sam was an architect.
Oh my God. Ryan, lifeguard.
Yeah.
It's like, my job is beach. I was like, yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, what about the romance? I mean, there was some romance in it, but like you weren't rooting for any of the couples.
No.
So, and you weren't supposed to.
No, there was really no romance. I mean, even like the person who was Lily's person, Sam, left like 3/4 through the way of the book and then like left her a voicemail at the end.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay. He's like, I love you. I want to maybe be with you on the outside, but we have no idea if that really happened.
Yeah. And also he was like, but you are going to have to find me because I've decided that I'm going to travel the world completely off grid. I guess where I am. Like, I don't know. Like, without the producers, how would she ever find him when she leaves? And then that was interesting at the end, too, when they had, like, her mom call. And her mom just never watched the show. And her mom was like, why are you still there?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? She's like, where have you been?
Yeah. She's like, oh, you won? What do you get? You just have to stay there?
She's like, so why don't you leave?
Which is weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird prize.
Like, why would you want to stay there by yourself? But that's what makes me think there must be something crazy going on in the outside world where that truly is the better option.
Maybe we'll get killed by a tsunami in 15 years.
Yeah, that is something they said. Or plot twists.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we would find out that Tom like secretly killed that other guy that never made it to the compound or something, or that one of them was, I don't know, a producer in disguise. Like there was nothing twisty about this.
Like, you literally knew everything. And I kind of think that was the point. Like, it's just real life, but just like a little weirder.
Yeah, I mean, Lily told this whole story about how she really wanted this trampoline when she was a kid and did everything to get it. And finally, when she got it, she got bored of it really fast and realized, like, nah, I don't really need this. And like, clearly that was where this was going. Right?
Yeah.
That she got all this stuff. And in the end, she was like, okay, now what? You know?
Do you think that the phone call from Sam is what really sent her to leave?
That's what I sort of got. She had mentioned that, like, in a previous season, that they allowed a mother to talk to one of these, like, a contestant who
was not doing well.
Yeah. And basically to get her to go, you know, and it was like to talk to her mom to like just basically get her to leave. And so I sort of thought that was why her mom called. And then the Sam voicemail, I think, was also just to like get her to go.
I think it was the mom thing, but then they were like, oh, your mom actually doesn't give a shit about you.
Yeah, your mom's just, you could
that
stay.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's why they needed Sam to call.
I mean, really, for production purposes, like, why do they want this last person to stay? It's boring TV.
I know.
They said by the time it's down to like one person, they show 1 hour a week instead of every night.
Yeah.
So they probably wanted her to go as fast as possible. So then they bring in immediately a new crop of contestants who have to clean up the place and start over.
They got to look at that monument.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I thought maybe would have happened was that Tom maybe ended up poisoning Andrew for some reason.
Ooh, that would have been good.
But no.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
And
I actually can't even remember why he got sick.
It was after the dehydration, after they shut off the water.
Yeah.
Because they needed to banish somebody, and the water would be turned back on once they ran a 100-meter race. And Becca was just like, hell, if I'm going to leave this place before Tom. I hate that guy. And I was trying to remember why she hated him so much. And it was because of like that task where he held her underwater in the very beginning when we first saw how crazy Tom was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it, man. But also, you could just go. She was also 17. She lied to get on the show. Another thing, you're like, what was so bad that you had to lie to get on the show where you're hiding in a hedge maze
for days?
only eating chocolate bars that Lily sometimes can get you because she's not very good at getting away from the boys.
She's literally the worst.
And
I would not want Lily to be like my lifeline.
no. And she had, the gallon of water that she was just like slowly keeping her and Lily from dying. I think truly Andrew never got any real water, I think like when he ran the 100-meter race.
So
they were like
stupid.
They were so stupid where they were like they were just all like half dead, just running 100 meters. It was,
God, you could not pay me to do this.
No. Like I would have had to have been forced. Like if you found out that they were just like picked up and like put in here and like trying to make the best of it or something, then yeah. But no, they all wanted to be there. It's really hard to get on, according to Becca.
They saw Tom's background and they're like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. Like,
I think I get on the show.
Also think he was like a stalker to his ex-girlfriend.
Yes, he kept being like, he was just going to wait until her birthday and then she was going to leave. And then he was just like, forgot about her. I mean, he is a danger.
Yeah.
To everybody, everywhere.
To women.
Yeah, to women specifically, but I think also to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I hated him, and I hated that he was still like on this show. Like people were wanting him to stay there.
Yeah.
So I actually think that like this would be a better movie than a book in the way of like the Hunger Games, because if it was a movie, maybe you would get other people's perspectives. Maybe you'd feel the producers and the viewer and even the other contestants, not just Lily, in the way that like they do that in the Hunger Games, where in the movie like you see more than just Katniss's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I would probably watch this movie if it came out. I wouldn't read the book again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd read a sequel if they said like, okay, here's how this affected them in their lives after. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you could see like the people watching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what are the people watching, or like some sort of just like, like social media blips, like coming on the show.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I want to know.
You're right. I do think this would make a better TV show or movie than anything else.
Yeah.
Also, like, there was no smut. This was not like romance by any means. It was just doing what we've got to do to stay alive or to stay in this game.
Yeah.
To get a watch.
Basically to get a sled full of things. Like she had to get a sled that she could put all of her stuff on so she can slide it through the desert when she was leaving.
It like I'm so embarrassed.
It's a sled and not a wagon. She's so dumb. She's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like she not something with wheels. I didn't even think about
she
that.
wasn't like, can I get a literal U-Haul?
Yeah.
To bring all my shit home?
She did ask for a car. Yeah. That was the only thing they said no about.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have asked for a wagon, a wheelbarrow,
A wheelbarrow. That would have been better.
a sled.
God. Remember when she was like, when she was walking out like with the sled and she's like, oh, I guess I just stay here. I was like, I hope nobody comes to pick her up.
Yeah, no.
I hope she's just out there.
Maybe that's the twist. Like no one ever leaves. Well, you know what I wanted to do as like a short little game. If you could be on any reality show, what would you be? And when I say if you could, I'm going to say if you were forced, because again, reality TV is not really my jam, but like if I had to choose a reality show in this reality that I'm going, I would have an excellent voice. So I would go on, The Voice, American Idol, Building the Band, also a really good show for anybody who wants who's watching Netflix currently. I think that's what I would do. And then if you had to force me to be on something not that, like maybe something like Amazing Race.
Wow. Okay. I mean, for me, I hate reality television. I'm just not interested in it at all. But I would not have to be forced to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that's right. It's.
I love Dancing with the Stars. I think it's amazing. It's heartwarming. You really see the progress of these people. You really see the skills of their dance partners and choreographers. Like, I love that show. I think it's amazing. So I would be on that if anybody wanted me to.
Yeah. Knock, knock, knock.
I mean, I also say The Amazing Race. Like, the pinnacle of it, really. You get to travel. I don't think I do very well, but I think it would be a lot of fun.
I know, yeah.
And I'd love to say I'd want to be on Survivor, but again, I would be absolutely terrible at almost all of the things.
I actually had never watched Survivor until last season because a podcast host that I liked was on, and he only lasted one episode, so I only ever watched one episode.
Oh.
But as I was watching it, I was like, I thought this show was about surviving on an island, but it's not. It's like a whole mental exercise. Like you're trying to like really just fuck with people. And I'm like, no, I would not be able to do it. Like I'd be like, absolutely not. Thanks. Talk to you later. No, that one episode that I watched, I was like, I was like, don't want to. I don't even camp. You know what I mean? You think I'm going to be on Survivor?
Mm-mm.
And then everybody was lying to everybody. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that to be. Like,
No.
the idea that somebody is just like plotting behind my back, and then I'm also supposed to be plotting, and then maybe finding some secret puzzles, but then maybe also running a 100-meter dash. Like, I don't know. Like, it was no, thank you.
No, thank you.
I can do all the social part, but not like the sleeping on the ground.
I hate bugs. I hate the heat. Like, it's not for me.
I hate all of it. I think I'll like not a single part I would like. If it was something that, if it was just like a competition, like sort of, I feel like Amazing Race, you're either the first one there or not the first one there. But the meritocracy on Survivor is like, how sneaky are you?
Pretty much.
No, thank you.
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, let's get to ratings.
Yeah.
Let's do star ratings. You know how important they are to me.
Do you need to give an overview for Stephanie for star
Do
ratings?
you know about the star ratings?
I mean, I rate things on Goodreads and
1 to
stuff.
5?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Okay, perfect. Stephanie, please go first. What would you rate this?
I think I'm going to generously give this one a 3.5 because it was an enjoyable read, but it just didn't have the payoff.
Yeah. Okay. Elise, you better not be giving any thumbs.
I'm gonna give some thumbs. And I'm gonna give it a sideways 1 thumb,
God, that's so stupid.
like this.
And what does that mean?
How about this? Elise would be allowed to give her thumbs up, thumbs down rating if it correlated to anything.
It doesn't correlate to anything. I don't really think so much in ratings. Like, I either like it or I don't, which of course is too black and white. Like, that's too binary. I understand that. So my thumb rating is like, I really liked it, 1 thumb. It was the best thing ever, 2 thumbs. If it was really bad, a thumb down. And this was right in the middle. It was a thumb middle. If I had to give it a star rating, because Katy's looking at me like she's going to absolutely jump across this couch and murder me. Yeah, I guess like a 3, something like that. Somewhere just right in the middle. It was a middle of the road book.
Okay. Thinking about some of the other books that we read, like, I want to give this a 3 because it definitely is different than anything else I've ever read. But I feel like my active anxiety while I was reading this, like, makes me want to give it a 2.
Fair.
Like, this, I would not read this ever again. I would not read a sequel. Like, it stressed me out in the worst way. Like, this is truly my worst nightmare, is this happening to me.
Yeah, and that's the period on this book. It's Katy's nightmare. This book is Katy's nightmare. All right, the next pick is Katy's for the next pod, so I'm going to throw it to you, Kay. What are we reading?
Okay, so for next time, I pick In the Veins of the Drowning, which is a romantasy book by Kaylee Cassidy. You know what? It says The Siren Mage, book number 1. So I'm just going to guess here that there is some siren business going on.
Classic siren business.
Classic siren business. And I felt like I really wanted to go back into some sort of fantasy romantasy book after especially reading The Compound. I need a palate cleanser. And that's what we're going to be reading next.
All right. I'm excited.
All right. And I just also want to thank Stephanie. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. This was so much fun.
I know. Thanks for reading this book in like 2 days.
It was a challenge, but I like a challenge.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, no genre shaming unless it's funny.
Bye.
See you next time.
Here you go.
Yes, this is why we have this pod. I love it. I love it.